Hello and welcome to this presentation on stress survival. My name is Emily and I'm a peer educator on BGSU's campus. And so kind of what that means is there's a group of peer educators and we are trained either through a weekend-long intensive training or through a class throughout a semester. And we are able to go out to different departments, different offices, different organizations on campus, and we give presentations on health and wellness topics. So some of the topics that we talk about are stress, which we'll talk about today, as well as self-care. We also talk about bystander intervention, alcohol and other drugs, sexual assault and consent, healthy relationships, nutrition. There's a whole big list of them. If you're interested, you can look at the BGSU Wellness Connection website. We also have some different resources. So if you're interested in seeing those, there are things like the Health Center, the Counseling Center. You can feel free to visit the BGSU Wellness Connection website as well. So we're going to start off first with an activity, and this is going to be the Life Stress Test. So it's a handout that can be found on the BGSU Wellness Connection website, and it looks like this. And what you're going to do is you're just going to go through each item, putting a check mark next to items that you have experienced in the past 12 to 24 months, so the past 1 to 2 years, anything that you've experienced. And if you read something and you think that you have experienced that in a even longer period of time, but it still affects you today, feel free to check it off. So taking a minute to go through and just take this test. There's no right or wrong answers. These are just events that you've experienced. And then once you've finished going through all of those different life events and you've checked off what you have experienced, there's a numerical value next to each one. So going through and adding up all of those numerical values to things that you checked off, and then coming up with your total score at the bottom. And then you can see on the second page, once you have done that there are different ranking categories for the life stress. So you can look and see which one you fall into. Don't be alarmed if you fall into high. That's where a lot of college students fall. Just looking at that, knowing that we can't ask you every single thing that may have happened in the past 1 to 2 years, so understanding that you may agree with this, you may not agree with this, and it's the best that we can kind of do throughout this presentation. So we're going to kind of show you ways throughout that you can kind of deal with this stress and ways to cope with it, as well as recognizing what is causing this stress. So now that we've kind of understand a little bit about the stress that we're currently facing, just thinking about the past week or the past day and coming up with a high and a low. So a high is something good that happened, a low is something not so good that happened. And the rule is that you have to have a high. If you don't have a low, that's okay, but just coming up with those things that you have done in the past week and just coming up with that high and that low. And then once you have those, these are a good way, especially coming up with things that are good, things that you're grateful for, are great things to do just every day. So maybe thinking about putting that into your life in some way throughout your day. And then so for our next activity, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk about what is stress. So what I'm going to do is I have a water bottle here, and I'm just going to hold it straight out in front of me while we kind of talk about this. So right now it's not that heavy, it feels like a water bottle, but we'll see as I hold it longer how that kind of feels. So first, thinking about kind of what is your definition of stress? How do you know that you're stressed? Maybe what are some signs and symptoms of stress? Just kind of going through those, thinking about that. And then we have some different definitions of stress. So maybe as I flash them onto the screen, thinking about whether or not you agree or you disagree with this. So Eastern philosophy defines stress as an absence of inner peace. Western culture defines stress as a loss of control. Psychologists define stress as a state of anxiety. And physiologists define stress as a non-specific response of the body to any demand placed upon it. So now coming back to our example with the water bottle, I've been holding it for quite a few seconds now, so it's definitely getting a lot heavier, as you can imagine. And this just kind of goes to show that the correct weight of the water bottle doesn't really matter. It was easy to hold when I first grabbed it. It's It's a little harder now. If I was to hold it for an hour, it would be even harder. So the correct weight of it doesn't matter. It just matters how long you hold it. And so holding onto it for a minute, it's not really a problem. But understanding that in each case, it gets heavier and heavier. And sometimes you just need to take that water bottle and set it down and then pick it up later. So kind of comparing that to stress, in each case, the longer that you hold on to it, the more heavy it's going to become. And sometimes it's okay to just set that stress down, do something, a self-care activity or something else for yourself, and then pick it up later. So whatever stress you're carrying right now, just for a moment, trying to let it go, knowing that you can pick it up later after we've rested, after we've kind of gone through the rest of these activities. So we mentioned at the beginning that there are different signs and symptoms of stress. So when we defined stress, we kind of thought about that a little bit, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper. So maybe thinking about, how do you know that you're stressed? What happens? This could be a physical reaction, it could be emotional, it could be mental. Kind of thinking about what are some things that you feel when you are stressed. And then we have a list here as well that I can flash onto the screen to show you. Maybe some of these are things that you feel, maybe they're not things that you feel, and that's okay. Just reading through them, noticing if any of them might apply to you. And then once we know that we are stressed, how do you deal with it? So maybe what are some ways that you de-stress? Coming up with a list at this time of just things that you might do to de-stress. You could have a lot of things on this list, you could have a few things on this list. As we go throughout this presentation, we'll give you a lot more ideas, so feel free to just write down ideas now of what you typically do or what you have tried to de-stress. So some of the things that you might have come up with might be deep breathing, yoga, meditation, as well as just like a visualization. Maybe you like music, maybe laughing with friends, exercise, coloring. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Another idea would be to wait 15 minutes in the morning before looking at your phone. So studies have shown that this reduces stress and increases your ability to have a positive outlook on the day. So maybe thinking about if that's a possibility for you, if it's something that you might want to try. And then we do have a handout here. It's also located on the BGSU Wellness Connection website if it's a little small on your device, but it has 101 ways to de-stress. So going through, taking a few minutes here to read through all of these different ways, and then choosing about 5 ways that you think you could realistically do. So not all of them might be realistic to your life and to your situation, so finding those 5 that you think you can really do. Then once you have those 5 that you think you could realistically do, choosing one that you could think you can do in the next 24 hours. So maybe thinking about what your schedule looks like for the rest of the day today, maybe what it looks like the beginning of the day tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this. But coming up with one thing that you can do in the next 24 hours. And then actually scheduling that into your day. So whether you have a planner, whether you use your phone, maybe setting a reminder or a note, something like that, that will just remind you to do this throughout the day. And then if this is a practice that you like, you could continue to do it every day. If you like writing it down or putting it in your phone, you can try new things, you could do the same things. You can practice these stress relieving techniques even when you're not feeling those symptoms of stress. So now that we understand what stress is, the symptoms of it, and kind of some ideas for how to deal with it, we're going to kind of dive a little deeper into a relaxation script. So I'm going to kind of read that to you, guide you through it. But some other ideas are you can always find meditation or mindfulness videos through YouTube, as well as yoga videos for stress relief, or even watching live streams of waves, of aquariums, or anything like that are all very good stress relieving techniques that you can do straight from your computer or your phone. So what I'm going to do is, as we kind of move into this part of the presentation, maybe turning off your phone if that's possible, maybe dimming the lights or turning your lights off, finding a comfortable position, so maybe sitting on the floor, maybe sitting in a chair, sitting upright wherever you're at, just finding yourself a quiet place to relax, knowing this is your time Time for complete and utter relaxation. So first we're going to go through a progressive muscle relaxation. So for this relaxation, you can either sit or lie down, making sure that you're warm enough, that you're comfortable. Maybe letting your hands rest loosely in your lap or by your sides. And then closing your eyes or taking a soft gaze towards the floor. Becoming aware of your breathing. Noticing how your abdomen rises and falls with each breath. And taking a long, slow, deep breath in through your nose all the way down to your stomach. And then letting it go through your mouth. Allowing your exhales to carry away all tension, all the stress as the air floods out of your lungs. Slow inhale through the nose, filling your lungs completely, holding for a moment, and exhaling through the mouth, emptying your lungs of all the air. And continuing this deep breath in, holding and letting it go, knowing you can return to your normal breathing at any time if you need to, if that feels better. Deep breath in, holding, and letting it go. Feeling that your body has already undergone a change. Knowing the tension in your body has begun to loosen and subside. Taking another deep breath in, holding, and letting it go. And then allowing your breathing rhythm to return to normal and relax. Throughout this relaxation, I will ask you to tense various muscles throughout your body. Please do this without straining. You don't need to exert yourself, just contracting the muscles firmly but gently as you breathe in. If you feel uncomfortable at any time, simply relaxing and breathing normally. Bringing your awareness to your feet and your toes. Breathing in deeply through your nose, and as you do, gradually curling your toes down, tensing the muscles in the soles of your feet. Holding for a moment, and then releasing the muscles of your feet as you breathe out. Feel the tension in your feet wash away as you exhale. Noticing how different your feet feel when tensed versus when they are relaxed. Take another deep breath in, again tensing the muscles in the sole of your feet. Holding for a moment, and letting them go. Feeling yourself relaxing more deeply with each breath. Your whole body is becoming heavier, softer, and more relaxed. Now bringing your awareness to your lower legs as you draw in a nice deep breath, pointing your toes up towards your knees and tightening the muscles in the front of your shins. Holding for a moment, and then let those muscles go limp and loose as you exhale. Once again, taking a deep breath in, tightening these muscles, holding for a few seconds, and letting it go. Feeling your muscles relax and the tension wash away as you breathe out. In a moment, I'll ask you to tense the muscles in the front of your thighs. If you're lying down, you can do this by trying to straighten your legs. You'll feel the muscles pulling your kneecap upwards. If you're seated, you can tense these muscles by pushing your heels down onto the floor. So taking a deep breath in, tensing the muscles in your thighs, whatever way feels natural for you, and then releasing. As you do this, the blood flow to the muscles increases. You may notice a warm or tingling sensation, just focusing on that area of the body. Feel the weight of your legs pressing into the floor. As you breathe in again, tightening your thigh muscles, holding for a moment, and then release, focusing on letting your muscles go limp and loose. Draw in a nice deep breath, and gradually tighten the muscles in your butt, holding this contraction for a few seconds, and then releasing, feeling the tension leave your muscles, feeling them relax. Once more, breathing in deeply, tightening these muscles, holding for a moment, and then release, becoming more and more deeply relaxed, feeling your entire legs melting into the floor. Take another deep breath in, and this time, gradually tighten all of the muscles in your legs, from your feet all the way up, doing this in whatever way feels natural and comfortable for you. Holding it, and release these large, strong muscles, enjoying the sensation of release as you melt into the floor. Now bringing awareness to your stomach, drawing in a nice deep breath, tightening the muscles, imagining as if you were trying to touch your belly button to your spine. And then release your breath and relax. Notice the sensation of relief that comes from letting go. Once again, draw in a deep breath, tighten your stomach muscles, holding for a few seconds, and then let them relax. As you exhale and release all tension. Bringing awareness to the muscles in your back. As you slowly breathe in, arching your back slightly, tightening these muscles, and then release with your breath. Again, taking a deep breath in, tightening these back muscles, holding for a second, and release. Now giving attention to your shoulder muscles and the muscles in the back of your neck. As you draw in a nice deep breath, pulling your shoulders up towards your ears, squeezing these muscles firmly, and then completely breathe out, allowing your contracted muscles to go loose and limp. Again, pulling those shoulders up towards your ears, squeezing them firmly. And exhale as you let the tension subside. Feel the heaviness in your body now, enjoying the feeling. Feel yourself becoming more and more deeply rooted. You are calm, you're secure, you're at peace. Now it's time to let go of all the tension in our arms and our hands. So we'll start with the upper arms. So in order to do this, you're going to take your wrists, reaching them towards your shoulders, tensing that upper arm, holding for a moment, and then letting it go. You may feel a warm or burning sensation in your muscles as you tighten them. Feel how relaxing it is to release that tightness and breathe away all of the tension. As you inhale, curling your wrists towards your upper arms again, tightening the muscles, and then relax your arms and breathe out. Now bringing awareness to your forearms. As you breathe in, pressing your palms into the floor, holding for a second, and then release, feeling the tension wash away. Again, take a deep breath in and tighten the muscles in your forearms. Hold for a moment, and then release. Then moving to your hands, as you inhale, making a tight fist, and as you exhale, extending those fingers out long. Inhale again, tightening that fist. Exhale, release. Your arms and hands are feeling heavy and relaxed. Take a couple of nice, long, slow, deep breaths in and out. Just allowing yourself to slip even deeper into a complete state of rest. And then beginning to tighten the muscles in your face by squeezing your eyes shut, clenching your lips together. As you exhale, letting it go. Feel your face softening. And again, breathe in deeply, once more tightening the muscles in your face, holding it, and allowing all of those muscles to relax. You're now completely relaxed from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Take a few more deep breaths, listening and focusing on your own breathing. Feeling your body melt into the floor. As you enjoy this feeling, this state of rest, I'm going to move on to visualizing colors. So create a picture in your mind of the color red. Imagine red of all shades, red objects, a red landscape, just a solid color. Imagine all of the different tones of red, roses, bricks, apples, sunset. Enjoy the color red. Now allow the color you're imagining to change to orange. Picture the color orange, infinite shades of orange. Flowers, pumpkins, carrots. Enjoying the color orange. Fill the entire visual field of your mind's eye with the color orange. See in your imagination this orange turning to yellow, allowing yellow to fill your vision with lemons, flowers, fall leaves, imagining the endless tones of the color yellow. Imagine yourself surrounded by the calming color of yellow. Immerse yourself and enjoy the color yellow. Let the color you're imagining slowly begin to turn to a green, filling your imagination with the color green, endless shades and tones, plants, leaves, grass. Imagine being surrounded and by beautiful green. All shades from the lightest to the darkest. Bright green, subdued green, and joy green. Now see your mind slowly turn the color to blue, surrounding yourself with a beautiful blue. Unending shades of blue, water, sky, blueberries, enjoying the color blue. And then allowing the color to slowly fade to violet, focusing on the multitude of purples around you, eggplants, sunrises, just immersing yourself in this color, enjoying violet. And slowly allowing all color to fade from your mind, allowing your attention to return to your breathing, noticing how calm and regular your breath is now. Now that you have practiced visualizing colors, returning to a black, empty space, maybe picturing the inside of a dark room with no windows. You can't see the sides. In the center of the room, create a pinprick of light, a tiny dot barely visible in the darkness. And then grow this little starlight into a small flickering candle, watching the shape of the flame flicker, seeing the orange and the yellow candlelight, watching the candle flicker as you breathe, but don't blow it out. And beginning to grow the candle into a campfire in the woods, watching the candle as it grows. The wax melts as it gets hotter. The fire is much larger than a candle now. You take a step back because the fire is getting hotter. Make the fire even bigger, feeling the heat on your face, listening to the logs crackle, and seeing sparks as they shoot upwards, hearing the roar of the large fire, holding your breath, feeling the heat from the fire, and hearing the logs crackle. And then walk away from the fire, seeing it get smaller as you exhale. Take a deep breath, seeing the fire shrink. Exhale. And then feeling the cool night air on your face. Exhale. Turning the fire all the way back to a little candle. A small candle flickering in the night. Your arms and face feel cool. And just focusing again on the shape of the flame, the color of this tiny flame. And when you're ready, blow out the candle and watch the smoke swirl around, watching it dissolve into the darkness. Coming back to this black, empty room. From here, creating a thick piece of rope floating in the air, in this black room that you are in. The rope is very thick, the kind you would use to tie a ship to a dock. It's very coarse with little rough hairs sticking out. And tie the rope into a knot. Seeing the rope loop through itself, creating a knot in the air. And then tighten the knot. The rope is too heavy to pull, so use your mind. Squeezing the knot tighter and tighter. The knot is so tight it may never come undone. The rope is creaking as it squeaks together. The knot is too tight to pull apart with your hands. Now see the rope slowly become smooth. See it soften and shrink. Use your mind to make the rope into spaghetti. Small, slippery, and the knot opens easily. Use your mind to make the knot open and untie, effortless. You have the power to control your body with your mind. By visualizing stress as a roaring fire or a tight knot, you can easily change the image when you choose to. You have the ability to create stress and tension within yourself, but you also have the ability to release it. All you have to do is come back to this state and breathe. So becoming more alert with each breath that you take, more aware of your surroundings, the temperature of the air, the clothes on your skin, any sounds that may be around you. And then when you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, begin to stretch your muscles, whatever way feels comfortable, maybe as if you were waking up in the morning, fully alert and calm. Maybe sitting up if you were laying on the floor, but not trying to stand just yet. Allowing our bodies to adjust to being awake. And then opening your eyes and coming back. So I hope that you enjoyed that guided script. And if you did, you are able to find a lot more on YouTube, or you can download mindfulness apps as well. You can also choose, if that was not for you, to try different other things that were on that list of 101 ways that you can relieve stress. And then just a little few concluding points here. So stress is something that we all experience. It's something that we all handle differently. And just understanding that what works for you might not work for someone else, and what works for someone else might not work for you. So the example that I always like to use is exercise. So understanding that for some people, when you're stressed, exercise is great and it relieves all of your stress. But understanding for other people, when they're stressed, exercise sounds like the worst thing they want to do right now. Trying out different things and noticing what works for you. And then sticking with those things. And understanding that stress can be resolved through a variety of techniques. So hopefully you have some new ideas throughout this presentation. And while there are stressful moments and situations throughout our lives, and throughout college as well, it's important to understand that we too can step back and just appreciate the positivity in our lives, to think of those highs or to think of the things that you're grateful for every day. Understanding if we bottle up stress that it's just going to get worse, it's just going to get heavier. So really finding those ways to release it and to even just set it down for a few moments. And then understanding that it's important to take moments to unplug and to mentally recharge in whatever way works best for you. So I hope that you have learned a little bit about stress and about some ways that you can help reduce it. And I hope that you enjoyed some of these activities. Just a reminder that if you're interested in becoming a peer educator, or if you're interested in seeing these handouts, they are all available on the BGSU Wellness Connection website. We also have some other presentations posted there as well if you're interested in watching them. And then if you have any other further questions, feel free to reach out to the Wellness Connection. Our information is here. So have a great day, and thanks for joining.